my name is Jack. Big ideas and stuff confuse me, and I'm sure it confuses you too. So I decided to create a show called Making It Simple. As my first guest, I have Mr. Mark Buckler here.
Happy to be here.
Good. And you're a specialist in computer stuff, like deep learning, neural net ball practice, stuff like that.
Yes, definitely certain kinds of neural nets. That's for sure.
And these neural nets they line your brain stems.
Certainly some of your brain, some parts of your brain definitely include connections to your brainstem. But I'm definitely not a biologist. In fact, a lot of people confuse deep neural networks and real neurons in the brain. So I definitely want to make sure to draw a distinction between those two. So one of the biggest differences actually between what goes on in your brain and what goes on in a self-driving car, for example, is that there's no concept of spiking. So your neurons are spiking right now.
So there's spikes in my head?
There are spikes in your head, yes, absolutely. Many, many spikes that form a symphony that you then use to understand the world around you.
So I'm crazy. So the spikes mix with the neural nets and create, like you said, the neurons are firing. And so, what does that do to, me?
It creates you. You are quite literally a product of all these firings of neurons, and so am I, but a different set of firing of neurons with a different set of network connections.
So it's like my brain is shooting spikes.
Yeah, the whole day.
Wow.
But I want to point out that I am by no means an expert in biology at all. In fact, I definitely dropped a biology course in undergrad. Oh. Instead, I focus on computers and artificial neural networks that do things that we tell them to do.
So the computer's brain also is shooting spikes.
Well, that's the distinction. So the neural network actually in the computer works on basically just multiplying certain values by other values, and it does this so much and in such a complicated way that in the end it's able to do a certain task. I can give you more details if you'd like.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I would. And the multiplying, that's when you use the X, right?
Yes, that's when you use the X, absolutely.
Right. It's always confusing. There's the X and there's the line with the two dots, But yeah, if you wouldn't mind, could we see an example?
Sure, of course.
Thank you. I'm going to take out my glasses. Always learn better with my glasses on.
Of course, helps to see. So, let's talk about what a neural network might look like. So you may have a neuron which has multiple connections to it, and then you have an output like that, and then this may go into another neuron, and you may have a series of neurons connected to each other.
So this is in the computer, right?
Yes, actually, yes. This is an abstraction, which basically means that it's a way of representing things, but this is actually implemented as a program, just like Microsoft Word or any other program that you might use.
So yeah, I've typed on Word before.
You've typed on Word. That's good. That's good. So the inputs, basically, are things like numbers. So they may correspond to different ideas.
And so how do the numbers get inside the computer?
That's a good question. So in the case of things that I work with cameras. So basically, we have these really crazy systems that capture light from the surrounding world. And then the way they capture it is that the photons actually hit a piece of electronics that then creates a charge, which then gets converted to a digital signal, and that's how it gets into the computer.
So numbers are in light.
Numbers are a way of representing light. That's true.
I did not know that.
So the basic idea is that let's consider an image. So like how we were talking about, you might have a camera, and the way that it represents an image is with a set of pixels. So here we might have an image.
A box.
A box, yes, exactly. Good job. We have a box here, and these lines that I'm drawing are distinguishing columns, and here we have rows. And the point is that at each level here, we have a number. So this number might be 1, which may be a very small value, but we may have large values like 100. And in this case, we're assuming that it is a grayscale picture, which means that there is only one number per pixel.
So how do you get from the 1 to the 100?
So actually, we can index this. So this can be thought of as an array. Are you familiar with what an array might be?
Oh, yeah, yeah, arrays.
Okay.
Yep.
Can you give me an example of what an array might be?
Yeah, like, an array is just, you put the numbers together, and, it's like, it's like you go from, like you said, 1 to 100, and that, that's a good example right there, I think.
Can you remind me where you got your undergrad from?
Oh, just, it's like it was a big, like, I'm from, like, more of a small Midwestern area, and it was like, we had like a big university there, and it's like, it was big.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of thinking about it.
And you help the computers do this?
The computers capture things automatically, but then they don't know what's going on because each of these boxes is basically just a number. So we need to put it through some kind of CNN or convolutional neural network, and then we get the output of where the people are.
So if I'm the stick man in the box in the computer, it's like I'm trapped in the computer surrounded by numbers.
That's one way of thinking about it.
And do we have a choice? Can we opt out of being put into these computers?
Sometimes, like in China, you don't actually. In fact, they have mass surveillance programs where they constantly capture images of people. It's actually kind of unfortunate.
I'd say extremely, like a lot of unfortunates. Yeah. So we can't opt out of this?
You may be able to, but sometimes people want to. Like if you think about it, we're being captured on camera right now.
Since when?
Well, you're running the show, right? I
Well,
came
yeah,
here,
but it's a camera, not a computer.
but it's going into a computer to be edited, right? Host of the show?
Yeah, someone gets paid to do that, yeah.
Okay. So you understand that you're being captured on camera right now, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to be put into the computers, right? Like, there's like the boundary. The camera is, in essence, it's like, a savior buffer to stop me from getting sucked into these computers, right?
What do you think is happening in the cameras right now?
Well, they're looking at me and, recording, but they're not going to put me in the computers.
That's true. Just the image of yourself in the computer.
Just my image.
That's right.
So when you use a camera, it just takes your image.
That's right.
Huh. But it's not like, when you use the real computer and that sucks you all the way in.
I can guarantee that you cannot be sucked into a computer unless you're talking about literally falling into the middle of a supercomputer, which is the size of a room.
The supercomputer. How long has that been around?
Many years. Many, many years. The first one was made by Cray supercomputer.
Yeah, that's really crazy, man. So the supercomputer is like the big boss, and the rest are like its minions, and they're all working to try to suck us in, and you're helping these computers do it.
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Buckler. Well, thank you for viewing, making it simple. I hope you get the basic gist of what's going on in the world right now with these computers and robots and stuff. Try not to let yourself get sucked in, and hopefully we'll see you next week.